time for the Dugout Crew. Brought to you by the David 3000 Network, MVG Productions, and the 25. And now, here is the Dugout Crew.
And thank you very much to our announcer, Jason DeCane. And welcome to yet another episode of the Dugout Crew podcast. We're starting the final full month of the regular season for baseball. As you know, we're about 2.5 weeks away from summer being over. Yes, sad, I know, but what can you do? But, however, I don't think feedback in the area there, Joey. And speaking of whom, joining me is one of the greatest baseball minds in this podcast, Mr. Joey Acacia. And hopefully Jesse will be here with us shortly. Probably has a little trouble with the internet or something like that. I don't know what's going on. I haven't heard anything from him. But right now, it's just the two of us. Joey, how are you, buddy?
Well, I said before the season that I didn't think they'd win 60 games, and
yeah, according to your little tag there, 61 and
79.
61 and 79.
Now, if you want to talk about
futility, that's not bad. You know, you would think that they would do a whole lot worse. But
no, after last night's drubbing, that was showing what the team from last season was.
Yeah,
unfortunately. But you want to talk about futility? The White Sox.
Yeah. That's I feel bad for them. And
2 and 109.
Yeah.
They've got 21 games left.
Yeah.
And if they lose 12 of them, that's the record. They would have to win at least 10. No. With 21 games left, 141. They would have to win at least 10 or 11 out of their next 21 to avoid losing 121 games or more.
Yeah.
But they still on pace to lose 123.
Yeah.
And I think since July 1st, they are 6 and 45.
And Grady Sizemore got his first ejection as a manager of the White Sox.
Yeah, you know who the umpire was, right?
Hunter Wendelstedt.
Yeah. It's just like, okay.
I think Hunter Wendelstedt's sick and tired of people running their mouths. He ejected Aaron Boone for absolutely no reason because Aaron Boone didn't say a word. It was a fan in the audience, fan in the crowd that said something.
He ain't his dad, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Harry would not have done that.
Right. So,
I just think it sucks for the White Sox because I know everyone was saying how bad the A's were, but the A's won 50 games.
Yeah.
And that was with a roster of misfits and everything else. Even now, the A's have something the White Sox don't have. They have a 30 home run hitter, a guy that's going to have almost 100 RBIs. The A's haven't had a guy with 100 RBIs in 3 seasons. They've had one guy with 30 home runs in their last 3 seasons, and it's the guy on the roster now.
Yeah.
So it's taken them 3 seasons to have a guy with 10 or more wins. So yeah, no, it takes a lot to go from, because 2022 they won 60 games, 2023 they won 50. Now they have more wins than they've had in the last 2 seasons. So, but the White Sox, you can compare their slide to the Orioles pretty much, except it's in reverse.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Orioles were so bad at one point, and now look at where they're at.
Yeah. Second place in the EL East. Not far
behind. That's the
behind.
part of how slides can happen, because they had to get rid. Because last night Eloy Jimenez was with. They were playing the Orioles. Eloy Jimenez is with the Orioles now, but you could see it's like a mirror image of what used to be. I guess I can say that because the Orioles are now so good and the White Sox are so bad. It's like polar opposites going in different directions.
Yeah, exactly. Mike Lewis, too early, not wrong sport. Who's still on baseball, but if you want to go to our boy A Pizzle 90s pain and game pick'ems from last night. They made some picks over there. So Mike Lewis, thanks for coming in though. We do appreciate you as always. We're not making NFL picks, we're making baseball.
Boston sooner than later. Boston has been keeping up pretty good.
Yeah, but Boston has suffered a sweep at the hands of the Mets. I'll get to that shortly. Yeah, but I know the Red Sox got some. Could be a game coming up next. But let's check out what's going on in the news. We'll start off that our executive producer, Mr. David St. Dennis, has sent us the injuries. Royal Pasquantino will miss 6 to 8 weeks with a broken right thumb. He may be a key player.
Season. He's done.
Yeah. He's done. He's done for the so that could hurt the
sucks because they're leading their division right now. I think.
I gotta check that standings out when we get to it. Dodgers pitcher Clayton Kershaw is going on the IL with a bone spur in his right toe.
That explains why he wasn't pitching great the other day.
Yeah. And Cubs pitcher Justin Steele going on the IL with an elbow injury. So.
Well, in a statement he made the other day, he said he was going to try and come back, but with 21 games left, I don't think so.
True. All righty then. Kumar Rocker is now 100 in MLB's top prospects list as Jackson Holliday's graduation makes room for him. It looks like Jackson Holliday's moving up. Ever since going to the Orioles. So Kumar Rocker has pitched 5 one-hit innings with 10 strikeouts with no walks in his AAA debut. That's been pretty impressive. So you got that.
The guy's been drafted 3 times. He's 24 now, so I'd hope.
Yeah.
He got drafted in the 38th round, first round, and the first round.
I'm going to wonder if he's John Rocker's kid. I don't know. No,
now he's I think he's glad he's not related to John Rocker.
I am sure of that. That guy gets crazy though, John Rocker. The Rangers' Corey Seager, 200 career home runs for him. Congratulations. And Red Sox pitcher Rich Hill appeared in 20 seasons in major leagues. That's impressive.
And he's played for 32. They said 32 professional teams in his 20-year career.
That's crazy.
You want to talk about being a, what do they call it? Arm for hire.
Arm for hire. Yeah, and he probably wants one of the rings on his finger. I don't know if he has one, but I'll have to look that up. Guardians Jose Ramirez hit 250 career home runs, and the Guardians Emmanuel Clase reaches 40 saves this season. Now it's Cleveland's all-time saves leader. Wow, that's pretty good. You know,
I think he surpassed Bob Wickman.
Bob Wickman, didn't he play for the Yankees too?
Yankees, Brewers, and Indians.
Yeah,
he won a ring with the Yankees actually. I think in '96.
You think '96? Yeah, Jerry Jeter's rookie year. And the Dodgers, first team to 80 wins.
Big deal.
Yeah. And the Cardinals have won a game in Yankee Stadium for the first time since Game 5 of the 1964 World Series. Well, here's the difference. This is their first win in the new stadium. Remember, the 64 World Series is the old stadium of Yankee Stadium. So,
if that was the case, it'd be between, because I think that'd be 34 years. No. Yes. Somewhere in that range. And then you got, because the new Yankee Stadium's only been around for 15 years now.
Yeah, this is the new Yankee Stadium for 15 years. So, And let's see, that was. Anyways, um,
And they actually named something else, and this is a little trinket that I saw. The last two players to win games at the Yankee Stadium, their Cardinals, both are named Gibson.
ah,
Bob and Kyle.
yeah, Bomb and Kyle Gibson. All right, I still hear echo of me. That's okay. Um, Tigers pitcher Tariq Skubal, first pitcher to 200 strikeouts this year. I think this guy's going to be one rookie of the year. Pretty much.
I had him winning Cy Young, but he'll probably do both, possibly.
Yeah. Well, that is doable because you've seen people win rookie of the year and MVP awards. Fred Lynn.
So just real quick, he is not eligible for Rookie of the Year.
Okay, so that's how. So
Yeah,
Cy
no,
Young.
he has been eligible in 3 seasons.
So yeah, he's and so. Okay,
Yeah,
so
he exceeded rookie limits, but no, 16-4. He's a shoo-in for pitcher of the year. 16-4, 2.5 ERA, WAR of almost 6, 200 strikeouts. I think he'd be the first one to win it since Willie Fernandez.
yeah, God rest his soul.
Yeah,
Willie Hernandez. Is Hernandez? I think Willie Hernandez, not Fernandez. Oh.
Actually, I'm wrong. I think it was he won Cy Young, but it was Verlander last. Verlander.
Yeah, Verlander. Yeah, Verlander was the last one. So another pitcher reaching 200 strikeouts this season. The Braves' Chris Sale.
I bet the Red Sox are kicking themselves on that one, aren't they?
I think they are because I'll tell you one thing, they've been struggling with their pitchers. I think they got him. I blame ownership for letting Chris Sale walk. To be totally honest.
Who did they even? Oh God, yeah, no, they lost that trade.
Yeah,
Vaughn Grissom. That was the Vaughn Grissom trade.
Yeah, Vaughn Grissom trade. Guess who won that deal?
Yeah, no, he hasn't played for the Red Sox since June 1st.
Yeah, go figure. Mets Francisco Lindor has now hit 30 home runs in 5 seasons. Pretty impressive. Elvis Andrews to retire as a member of the Rangers. You will never forget that double play, that duo of Andrews and Beltre. Those two guys are like Abbott and Costello out on the baseball field. Funniest duo ever.
You want to know the scary part?
Yeah.
He's played 16 seasons. He started as a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
He's 36 and he's retired.
Yeah.
He retired so young. It reminds me of guys like David Wright and stuff, and people like that who retired young, but he wasn't injured.
Right. So
he'll be remembered for a number of things, actually.
Mm.
The Jose Bautista home run happened because the Rangers in their 3 errors in the inning. That happened before the home run. So, plus he was on the Rangers teams that helped get them to the World Series. Unfortunately, they lost to the Giants and the Cardinals.
Right. I wish. I know he went to Oakland for a bit.
He got traded there. That was the. I don't like talking about that trade actually because that was a bad trade for everybody. Well, for the A's at least. Aramis Garcia went with him, Dane Acker, Chris Davis, who is now retired, and the biggest piece of them all, Jonah Heim, who helped to get them to the World Series and the Rangers get to the World Series and eventually win it. So the wound is still fresh.
Yeah. So and for Andrews to come back to the Rangers to retire with them, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I hope he doesn't touch Beltre's head after this.
He
threw the glove at him in Seattle.
throw the gloves at him. Yeah, those two, Andrews and Beltre, were like, frickin' frack. And let me tell you, they're the funniest duo ever. You talking about baseball funny side up, those two would have been part of it. It was, those two were hilarious. All right, continuing on to the accomplishments. Gunnar Henderson for the Orioles, shortstop for the Orioles. 35 home runs, breaks the tie of the season, breaks the tie with Cal Ripken Jr. and Miguel Tejada. So that Gunnar Henderson, you're talking about possibly 35 homers as a shortstop. Mostly shortstops not much power hitters, but Gunnar Henderson proved them wrong.
Well, he's also hitting. He's got 150 hits, 25 doubles, 17 steals, 70 walks. He's hitting well over 280 now, so he's definitely in line for a Silver Slugger.
Yeah, I think he's definitely one of the reasons why the Orioles have been very successful this season. You got to give him credit. Plus, why they won the division last year. All right, Cubs pitchers Shota Imanaga, Nate Pearson, and Porter Hodge drew a combined no-hitter for the Cubs. So
the poor Pirates, I know how good they were supposed to be this year. I think they're still, I'm not sure, but I don't think they were bad. Oh, yes, they are. They're in last place. Never mind. I didn't realize, but the Brewers have quietly led their division with 81 wins. I think they have the second most. No, tied for the third most in the National League. Padres are still in it behind the Dodgers, though. But no, a lot of teams are in it still.
All right. Padres, Jackson Merrill's 82 RBIs is now most for a rookie in Padres history. The Padres are getting strong. So got to look out for them in that offense. The return of Fernando Tatis and a last game-winning base hit.
Leaving him.
What? Excuse me?
All it took was Bob Melvin leaving him from San Diego because he went from San Diego to the Giants.
Yeah.
And the Giants haven't been doing well since then.
All right. Here goes the transaction call-up updates. The Los Angeles Angels finally, David spelled the word right. It's a miracle and a half. Yes.
It took 2 seasons and 23 episodes.
It took 2 seasons for him to spell angels right instead of angelese. Angeles. Which is hilarious to say the least. He probably had the Los Angeles Angels and probably had them all mixed up. Anyway.
Imagine he had this in front of his computer. He had your face just like, don't spell it wrong.
Finally, thank you, David. You've been saved. Anyways, your reputation, you got a new reputation now. Anyways, I want to thank Mike Lewis for keeping up with the scores on there. Keep it up, Mike Lewis. Appreciate it. The Los Angeles Angels calling up left-ender Sam Aldegheri. Sources tell ESPN Aldegheri, 22, will be the first pitcher born and raised in Italy to play in the major leagues and expected to go Friday. They acquired him from the Philadelphia at the trade deadline. That's a big deal. So if Italy's up, they'll be sitting up watching the piece. Hey, look at that! It's our boy from Italy. Hey, come on, son of a gun! I'll probably scream like Santino Morella or something like that. I don't know. But anyways, congratulations to Sam Aldegheri for being in the major leagues. And here we go. And the Cardinals placed Tommy Pham on waivers. And Tommy Pham claimed off waivers by the Royals. So go from one central team to a surging team. And the Royals get another person. Marlins trade Yuli Gurriel to the Royals. That's going to be a huge get for them. I heard he's pretty good.
That's his third team this season, Tommy Pham, the poor guy.
Yeah.
He wasn't even on a team to start the season. He's played 97 games. But here's the kicker. He's gone from the White Sox.
We're going to get to that because part of the other news. I did not realize this. Pitcher Nick Ahmed signed a minor league deal with the Padres that could help him out a little bit. And also they have the Padres activated Fernando Tatis versus the Tigers, which he got a game-winning base hit. In other news, you're talking about Tommy Pham, Joey, joining his ninth team, tying in with Kevin Pillar for the most active position, among active position players. He played for the Cardinals, the Rays, the Padres, the Red Sox, the Reds, the Mets, the Diamondbacks, the White Sox, and now the Royals.
Yeah. But guess what? That has to be funny for the poor guy. He played on one of the worst teams in baseball, went to the Cardinals, and now he's on the Royals, who are leading the Central Division.
And I think he's got that little suitcase. You know that suitcase you have all the stickers on it and stuff? He's probably had one of those by now.
Well, he's also probably listening to Johnny Cash on repeat. I've been everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. Down the desert square, man.
Just on the road again. That's Willie Nelson, I believe. So
Yes. And it's funny because there's guys like Kenny Lofton who played for just about everybody. But the record has actually been broken twice. And this guy pitched for the A's a couple seasons ago. Edwin Jackson, who was a young prospect way back when for the Dodgers at 20 years old. In 18 seasons, I believe, somewhere around there. He played for 13 major league franchises, and there's 30. So he played for almost half of them in his career.
That's crazy.
They call that a journeyman for the most part.
Yeah, journeyman. That's what Tommy Pham is, basically a journeyman.
Well, they call that a veteran presence. So he's worth what he got paid for.
So anyway, yeah, and we just talked about the White Sox not too long ago before we came on the air. They set their franchise record with 107th defeat. They had 24 remaining games. Grady Sizemore, good luck. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm scared to look up and see what his record's been since then. That's kind of deflating to be a manager and having to go into that.
Deflating. Don't use that word around me as a Patriots fan. I'm like kidding.
He's 4-20. 4-20 in his. He's won more games in his first 24 than Griffel did in an entire month.
That's sad. That's sad. Well, we'll see what happens here. Here's some news from the obvious department. 2 teams eliminated from playoff contention. You want to take a guess who they are?
The White Sox and the A's.
Well, wrong. The White Sox have already been mentioned. The Colorado Rockies and the Miami Marlins.
Well, let's see. The Rockies have 51 wins. Oh, my God.
Yeah, Oakland A's are doing better than the Rockies and the White Sox.
That one's an obvious one. And they're doing better than the Angels. Remember I said they were coming up? The A's have consistently had a 2-game lead over the Angels since they've moved into 4th place. Yeah. The Angels are 58-81. They have had some of the worst months on record, but that was because the A's have gone 31 and I think it's 32-23 since the All-Star break. Right. No, since July 1st. And the more I think about that, you take away 32-23, that leaves them at 28-56. That's how bad they were at one point.
Oh
you
boy!
The month of May, where they were at 17-17 at one point. You take away that really bad month and a half of baseball they played. They're a 500 team. But baseball ain't about being fair or foul, for that matter.
There you go. Fair or foul. And finally, Dodgers Yoshinobu Yamamoto, the $300 million man they signed from Japan, will make his return from the injured list on Tuesday, per Dave Roberts.
So I didn't even know he got hurt. I had no idea he'd gotten hurt.
Yeah, so did I, because I thought he was a very good pitcher.
Since middle of June.
So Yamamoto, because
that start, and he only gave up a hit and a walk and struck out 1 the last time he pitched. So,
and hopefully, whatever injury, I'm kind of hoping whatever injury he has does not affect him, because the Dodgers are going to need him in the long run.
I mean, 6-2, 2.92 before he stopped pitching. I think he was well on the way to the Cy Young. But
he would have been. He would have been if he hadn't gotten hurt.
Well, his counterpart, who's also gotten signed, who was only signed to a 2-year contract, much older, by the way, Imanaga, who just turned 31, 12-3, 2.99 ERA in his first season. He's not overpowering either.
Yeah, I don't think any Japanese pitcher won a Cy Young award.
I think it's Hideo Nomu who was the only one.
And he won Rookie of the Year, didn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah, he won Rookie of the Year back in '95 before the Dodgers. I don't think anybody. I'm gonna look that up and see if there's any Japanese player that's won a pitcher that won a Cy Young, because
you want to know how bad it is that he lost the Cy Young? The only reason he lost the Cy Young, that was the 95 season, I think. Let's see. Yeah, 95, his rookie season. He lost it because Greg Maddux had the pitching year of the ages. That was the 144 game season. Maddux went 19-2 that year. 19-2, ERA of 163, 10 10 complete games, 3 shutouts, 209 2/3 innings. And he had an ERA plus that was more than double league average. 260 plus. 260 for an ERA plus is ridiculous. He was even better than Randy Johnson was, just to tell you that. The only thing Johnson had that was better was strikeouts. Because somehow, some way, in 214 innings, Randy Johnson, in only 30 starts, struck out 294 batters that 95 season. He finished 6 away from having 300 strikeouts.
All right, you guessed the day on number. None of the Japanese pitchers have won a Cy Young, but if you want who won it in '95, that's the year that Hideo #1 Rookie of the Year, Greg Maddux of the Braves have won that.
Yeah, he was 19-2 that year.
Yeah, so
it's crazy to think the 2 pitchers that won Cy Youngs that year don't have the most. It was Roger Clemens who has the most.
Right. Yeah, most Cy Young awards.
Both did something that Clemens hasn't done, and I'm not going to say go into the Hall of Fame because that's low-hanging fruit.
Wow.
Both won consecutive Cy Youngs in 4 straight seasons. That's a level of dominance, and this is completely contrasting styles too, because Randy Johnson was known as the big unit because he was 6'10", throwing 100-mile-an-hour fastballs.
Mm-hmm.
Maddux did it a completely different way. I think he had maybe 1 or 2 seasons where he struck out 200-plus batters. He was known as the professor for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
He actually won more games than Randy Johnson did by quite a large amount. Maddux finished with 355 career wins. And you want to know who he edged out for the wins? Roger Clemens. Clemens finished with 354 and Maddux had 355. And only one of them's in the Hall of Fame now.
Right, that's Maddux. And Roger Clemens, to me, he was one of the best pitchers without even having to throw a no-hitter. That's what Clemens never did.
No, Clemens never threw a no-hitter, but he has 2 games of 20 strikeouts or more.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yes. And he didn't – well, the first time was without the needle. The second time probably was in 96.
Yeah, 86, 96, I believe. Not 90. He did it twice on the Red. Yeah, that's 10 years apart. That's crazy.
You'd be surprised, but I think I remember the exact date. I think it was April 29th, 1986. For the first one, and that was against Seattle at Fenway on a muggy, rainy night in Boston. And then against the Tigers at the old Tiger Stadium in 96.
Yeah.
Randy Johnson had a 20 strikeout game, and he could have kept going. He did it against Cincinnati a long time ago now. But he was, when you get a guy that's dealing like that, you don't want to pull him off the mound because you want to go tell Randy Johnson, hey, you're done. You have to go, whoop. And you think about all those managers he had. Imagine how big of an ice bag they had every time they had to look up to him. A big old ice bag about the size of an anvil.
Okay. So that's the baseball news. So I'm going to get out to our team news. Joey, your Oakland A's, what else they have done?
So they have got a guy named Brett Rooker, and I've waxed lyrically about him enough, but one of the greatest waiver claims they've ever had He's got 33 home runs. He's got 95 RBIs now in the season. He is ridiculous, and he wasn't even an all-star this season. They gave it to David Fry, who has not done anything of note since the all-star break. Now, you want to talk about a guy who's been on fire lately. Lawrence Butler had another 3-homer game, and he was incredibly on fire. Like, I've never seen a guy this young and this talented. I wouldn't say so much Ken Griffey Jr.-esque, but he's got 21 home runs now. He's on a 13-game hitting streak. No, 14 games now as of last night. He's hitting the ball hard every single time, and he had, when they called him up, 2 home runs. Since he's been called up, he's got 19. And he's been up less than a month, a little more than a month, 2 months now. He's hit 19 home runs. Since July 1st, he's the only player who has more home runs than him, Aaron Judge.
Obviously.
And that's the scary part about it is, if I can go and look.
And Aaron Judge may end up hitting 60 homers again this season.
I know. And that's sadly the one that the A's let get away.
Yeah.
Because he was going to be an A, and then he decided not to sign. But Butler's sitting at 266, 319, 528 slash line, 847 OPS, 139 OPS plus. He's done this in 106 games. He doesn't even have 100 hits. He's got 21 homers, 21 doubles, 54 RBIs, and 13 stolen bases. Hasn't been caught yet. And his WAR is a 2.4. So let me see here. Let me see. Game log. I'm trying to find game logs. God, you have everything and you can't find it. Not offense. But he's been so good. He's had 2 multi-home run games. No, not 2 multi-home run games, but he's had 2 3-homer games in the last 2 weeks. No. He had one against Cincinnati. The one he had against Philadelphia was even more ridiculous. The 3rd home run he hit against Philadelphia was into the 2nd deck at Citizens Bank Park in deepest right center field. There was no way he should have been hitting the ball that far. But no. May 13th was the day they sent him down. He was hitting 179. He gets called back up a month later after Seth Brown gets sent down, and he's been doing good. His low point for his average in that span was when he was hitting 174. And that was June 29th against the Diamondbacks. Since July 2nd, he has been ridiculous. His average is up to a season high 266, and he has not gotten a hit. Last time he didn't have a hit was August 20th. He went 0 for 4 against the Rays, and that was a game in Oakland where they lost 1-0. But he's had August 23rd, home run, 27th, home run, 28th, home run, 29th, 3-homer game, 31st, home run, and then September 3rd, he had another home run. So in the last 10 or so days, 2 weeks, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8 home runs. Like, he's on a torrid pace. I had him hitting maybe 25 if he can get there, but the 1-2 punch the A's have right now is pretty good. They got Jacob Wilson back. He's been kind of middling for the most part because it's hard for a guy who was hitting the ball over the field to get there. But no, after losing 16-3 last night, they're looking to take the series against Seattle, who, as you know, had a 10-game lead over Houston at one point. Everyone forgets about that. And I don't want to be that person by saying this. It reminds me of the 78 season with Boston.
Yeah.
That's exactly. But Boston did that at the end of the season. Seattle had so much time to make up for what they lost. They have not done that. The A's are currently looking up at Texas, I don't think they're going to catch the Rangers. I'll be honest with you. It's 61 and 79 versus 67 and 73. But I will say this much. For Texas, the fall from grace has been massive. For the A's, it's been a rise from the grave, I guess you could say. Because I will look it up right now. I can guarantee the A's didn't have anywhere near as many wins. I guarantee they didn't have half as many wins they did this time last season.
And then you talk about the Angels go, the Heavenly Angels go in AL West hell. It's like
let's see. They let Ohtani go. And I'm just talking about their bad contracts here. Rendon's played most of the season, and he hasn't done anything of note. But you got guys like Jared Walsh, who's no longer on their team. Pujols is retired. He went to the Dodgers. They let him go, and he went to the Dodgers and Cardinals and had a great career. Resurgence. Trout's pretty much done. I'm not saying his career is over, but his knees and everything else are so badly shot. Pardon me if I've said this before, but he reminds me of Griffey Jr. when he was with Cincy. You've been alive long enough to know about that, but from 2000 to 2010, that 10-year span where Jr. could have been, if Jr.'s healthy, he's challenging for the home run record.
Right.
His best season, he had 40 home runs, drove in a little over 100 runs, I think. Trout had a 40 home run season, and I think that was the most games he's played in the last decade and a half. I think. I don't want to be the guy who says to write Mike Trout off at the age of what, 32? He is 33.
Right.
In 109 at bats, he had 24 hits. 10 of those were home runs, 14 RBIs. He actually stole 6 bases. That was the most steals he had since 2019. Since 2019, his best season was when he had the 40 home run year. He did that in less than 120 games. But when the 30-year hits or home runs, you're slowly turning into that aging slugger. His LPS was almost 1,000 in that time frame, but he hasn't played more than 120 games in 5 seasons. And that was the year they gave him the MVP despite only playing 134 games, 120 strikeouts, 110 walks, 45 home runs. He has pretty much reached his peak, I guess you would say, because he hasn't had the season you think he would have had.
Right.
He showed spots of it in 2020 when he played 53 out of a 60-game season and he had 17 home runs. But when you're only driving in 80 runs with 40 home runs for the Angels in 22, that 22 team, 73 and 89, and they ended up firing Joe Madden despite only being 2 games under 500 that season before that time.
Well,
but Trout's not done yet.
Yeah. So if Trout's not done, I think next season, if he leaves the Angels, if there's a team out there that needs a big bat, they better they could pick this guy up and have him DH.
Well, I don't know about that one, my friend, because he still has that contract.
And the Angels better DH his butt. And that's the only way he can still play and try to help the team out.
Ooh.
That's the only way
anybody's going to be able to handle that contract unless the Dodgers. Because reunite
Shohei and Trout with the Dodgers, and they got that offense with Freeman and all them. They'll be end up playing like the Yankees.
So as of right now, he is owed $37.12 million this season, 2025, 6, 7, 8, 9, and all the way up to 30.
Oh, boy.
That's until he turns 38 years old. But by that time, you know what I think? I think they should actually – I know I off-tracked from the A's, but the A's are going to do what they're going to do the rest of the season. I think they have a chance at 70 wins.
Okay.
They get 70 wins. That's a decent ending to this.
You got 20 some odd games left.
Them leaving Oakland.
It's doable. They got 20 some odd games. We got 20 some odd games left of the season. It's doable. It's doable. I think.
I agree with your sentiment because I know that this team was built to be better last season and better the season before. The young guys are there. They're doing their jobs. And this reminds me of the younger Boston teams and how they were good. They had Papelbon, they had Euclid, they had Ellsbury.
Oh, yeah.
They had all that talent. They had some older guys, but still.
You know.
The thing I think about the most right now isn't so much that Trout is getting older. Look at Bryce Harper right now. I know this is another tangent I'm going off of, but look at Harper. Harper moved to first base, like Posey moved from catcher to first base as well. And Bench had to move from catcher to third base as he got older. Take Trout out of the outfield. There's a DH in both leagues, like you said before. To be a DH and first baseman, he'll get in the lineup and have his 4 at-bats a day, 5 at the most. He'll still have his time in the sun. But he's not going to be a full-time outfielder any longer. He can't do it.
That's what I mean. I'd DH him or put him at first base or something.
Because you know his body is shot.
Right.
Because if you think about it, look at Mickey Mantle. He ended up getting older and older and older, and he only finished with 536 career homers. But that was because he had so many outside problems and he was constantly hurt. Trout, on the other hand, is 33 years old. He was supposed to be the guy that had 400 home runs or 500 home runs or anything like that. But he's progressively, he had 5 games DH, 2 games, 7 games. He even DH'd 15 games back in 2018. So they had him playing DH on and off since he was 19. Now he's 32, going to be 33. He's in his 14th season. He's got 378 home runs. And don't think I'm discounting the guy. It's just that he's hurt.
Right, yeah.
He's playing.
Yeah. So is that it for the A's, though?
That's all I got, but if this team wins 70 games, I'm a happy man.
That'll be good. That'll be a win. That'll be a win for you guys. Give them 70 wins. It's doable. It's doable. I'm hoping they do it for your sake.
People were talking about them going to the playoffs in Sacramento. I'm like, you know what? Sacramento's not going to be a happy place for a lot of those players because I live in California. It is a hot summer every single year. It's September 5th. The last 2 days, it's been 93 degrees. And it's 115 in Sacramento.
Oh, my goodness.
So, yeah, no. Tell me again how you want to go from a 73-degree Oakland weather with air coming by the bay and the marine layer to 115 freaking degrees, scorching your ass and scorching your acorns and your hot dog down there. You need more than just baby powder. You need a powder keg.
The
umpire goes to check you. Hey, what's this? Is this rosin? It's like, no, that's baby powder.
What are you doing? Chasing diapers in the middle of a game?
No, it's so I don't get swamp ass walking out of the dugout.
Oh, you know how hot it is in here? This is freaking Sacramento.
Yeah, no, there's a reason.
No wonder why The Rock is dissing Sacramento on his song.
It's just like, okay, let's go to hell. And it's like, here we are.
I know there's a place called Hell in Michigan, but come on now. Yeah.
No, Michigan at least rains half of the year, so that way you'll at least swim through hell instead of having to die in it.
Anyways.
Oh, brother, the A's have already taken a 2-0 deficit. Now, fucking Cal Raleigh. Excuse my language. God. Go ahead, Eric. Go ahead.
Okay. Let's talk about the my Red Sox here. They lost to the Jays this past Thursday, last week, 2-0, and then the Tigers took 2 or 3 against Boston. Boston won 7-5 in the first game on Friday, and then ending August and starting September, the Tigers took 2 games, 2-1 and 4-1, and then just recently we got swept. The Red Sox got swept by the Mets 4-1 Monday, Tuesday 7-2, and last night basically 8-3. Now we got Red Sox come back to Fenway, and they have some very, very important games coming up. Obviously, the White Sox. We got the White Sox the weekend, September tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday. Tomorrow at 7:10, 7:15, and Saturday and September 8th, 1:35 p.m. And then you got a very important series coming up against the Baltimore Orioles, because that could, and you know how tough the Orioles have been at Fenway. We got Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Wednesday, September 11th. That's got to be a big game, obviously, because it's called Patriot Day and all. So there's that. And then next week, September the 12th, as you know, it is also the digital launch of Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection for all you gamers out there like myself who are big fans of the series. We're playing Red Sox playing against the Yankees. That's another important series coming up against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium from the 12th, 13th, and 14th, and the 15th. So a 4-game series. And then the Red Sox will go up against the Rays in Tropicana Field the 17th, 18th, and 19th. And then return to Fenway for a short 3-game series in September, the 20th to the 22nd, the Twins. That could be a very important series. And then from the 23rd to the 25th, the Toronto Blue Jays. And that's going to be very important. Rich Hill, I thought the Red Sox, I thought Rich Hill would be the answer to the bullpen woes and all that. He has been clobbered by the Mets and Detroit and all that good stuff. So, and we're concerned about Rafael Devers. We don't know if he's hurt or not. They say he's been very grumpy towards the media and all. And when you're struggling and you're hurt, I don't blame him. So hopefully he can get himself together. Okay, because 347 already. We're gonna go to the standings right now. I know Michael Lewis wants to know what the wild card for both leagues look like. I will get to that. The Orioles 81-60, at a half game ahead again over the Yankees at 80-60. Red Sox jumped down to 577, 70-70, 10.5 games out. First, the Rays 69-71, 11.5 out, and the Blue Jays last place was 67-64, 14 out. Meanwhile, the American League Central goes like this: the Guardians still at the top, top of the American League Central, 80-60, 4 games ahead of the Twins, 76-64, and Royals 76-65, 4.5 out. The Tigers 70-70, just like the Red Sox, 10 games out. And then the White Sox at 32-109, 48.5 out. 32 and 109. Somebody shoot me, please.
Well, the sad part about it is they said every team except for the White Sox in the AL Central is over 500, like you were just talking about.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? 500 or over, because the Tigers are at 500.
Yes, but here's the scary part. They said the AL Central is 39 games under 500 overall. That's just because the White Sox are so bad.
Yeah.
I can't imagine how everyone else must feel, because there's a draft lottery, right?
Yeah.
The White Sox aren't even going to get the first overall pick.
Yeah. It's not like football.
No. Imagine being so bad, disgustingly bad at the game, and you're not even going to get the first pick in the draft next season.
I feel bad.
Imagine that. They get 32nd. They finish last, and they get the last pick in the draft. Insult to injury.
Exactly. Well, the American League West, the Astros 76-65, 5 games ahead of the Mariners, who are at, just like the Red Sox and Tigers, 70-70, 500. The Rangers 67-73 at 8.5 out, 8 out, excuse me. Your beloved Oakland Athletics 61-79, 14 out, and the Angels 58-81, 16.5 out. So that's for the American League. National League, the Phillies at 83-56, 7 games ahead of the Braves at 76-63. The Mets, who recently swept the Red Sox, were at 76-64, 7.5 out. The Nationals 62-67, 77. Excuse me, 21 out. And the Marlins 52-87, 31.5 out. The Marlins just eliminated from playoff contention. Meanwhile, the Brewers in the National League Central ahead with 81-59, 9 games ahead of the Chicago Cubs at 72-68. The Cardinals, the Cardinals 71-69 at 10.5 out. The Reds 68-73, 13.5 out, with the Reds have a victory today. And the Pirates in last place, 15-5, despite having that hot prospect Paul Skeens, are at 65-74, 15.5 out. And then we go to the National League West, obviously the Dodgers, 84-56, first place by 4.5 games over the San Diego Padres, 80-61. The Diamondbacks are at third place in 79-61, 5.5 out, and 5 out, again with a half bit. The Giants at 68-72, 16 out, and the Rockies also eliminated from playoff contention, 33 games out. So I'm going to check the MLB wildcard standings. I'm sure Mike Lewis will probably want to know what the heck is going on there. So let's check that out. And as you know what's funny? I look at the the division champs, East, Central, and West, ECW.
I mean, Philadelphia is there, so there you go.
That makes a whole lot of sense, right?
Right.
Here's the fun part. Now, Baltimore, Cleveland, Houston leading their divisions right now. The Yankees, the Twins, and the Royals have the three. It's a playoff start right now. They would get the 3 spots. But guess what? This is a log jam with 3 teams, like I said, at 70-70. That's why I believe the Red Sox, the series against the Yankees and the Orioles, are very, very important. They're all tied at 70-70, 5.5 out each. And then there goes Tampa Bay, Texas, Toronto, Oakland, LA, the Angels, and Chicago. So, and then you got
called the White Sox. They should be called the Green Sox because they're making everyone sick.
Yeah, no kidding, huh? So right now, the Dodgers, who have the best record in baseball right now, 84-56, 83-56, and Philly's not far behind. So Dodgers and Philly were speaking of ECW. And then you got Milwaukee, 81-59. Right now, the wild card, if this playoff start right now, it would go to the Padres, the Diamondbacks, and the Braves. And then the Mets will follow them with a half game out. Chicago, the Cubs, the Cardinals, the Giants, Reds, Pittsburgh, Washington, Miami, and Colorado obviously out. So that is possibly, like I said, I think the American League wild card race is more of a log jam. So that's so I think the American League West race, an American League wild card race, I should say, is going to be more competitive than the National League. But still, that's Red Sox are in the thick of things. So the Red Sox had to pull out something in these past 20 some odd games, these final 20 some odd games of the season, if they ever want to make it to the playoffs.
I mean, the A's are off to a standing start. They win the first 2 games, lose 16-3 last night, and they're down 2-0 today. So we'll see.
And so we got what? So we got 5 minutes left of the show before we end. And yeah, I gotta tell you this. Like I said, this season has been a little on the crazy side. I personally believe the Red Sox would have done better if we hadn't had a whole lot of injuries, and that's been that's been hurting us. Losing Trevor Story, and Trevor Story's trying to make a comeback this season.
I think for Trevor's story, it was more of a freak injury than anything else.
Yeah.
Because the way it happened, there's no logical answer for that. It just happened.
Yeah.
It was like on playing the way he was going to catch a baseball, wasn't it?
Yeah. He was trying to catch the baseball, and he tried. I think he landed on his shoulder or something like that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It was just a freak accident. You don't expect that to happen.
Yeah, I think a lot of freak accidents happen to the Red Sox this season. That's probably one of the reasons why the Red Sox are having a very tough time trying to tread water in the wild card race.
Well, then you're expecting a lot more out of Yoshida, but Yoshida hasn't been a bad player. That's not bad at all.
Yeah. I mean, Yoshida's been a decent player so far, but not, And then our pitching, we don't we missed Lucas Giolito, who could have helped us, who could have helped the Red Sox this season. But
about Giolito, you guys signed him to a 1-year contract.
Yeah.
And then he ended up blowing his arm out.
Yeah. So
which is one of the most unfortunate things, but it makes me realize these pitchers are throwing too many damn innings, and then all of a sudden they aren't built. And I know I'm sounding like an old goat here, but they aren't built to last.
Yes.
A lot of these younger pitchers haven't been built to last. That's the biggest problem is they know what their limitations are. The pitching coaches, the trainers, training staff, all those guys are supposed to work together and say, okay, we can do this, we can't do that, and so on and so forth.
And you get that stinking pitch clock is not helping matters.
Well,
our players want to be crybabies. We want to go home to our wives.
Not even that so much as I see it like this. If you're able to get through a game, because Mark Burley was professional with this, he would always be ready to pitch within 10 seconds. He'd get the ball back, he'd be set. He would not wait for the hitter half the time. And they can call. The umpires are allowed to do this. They can say, pitch the ball and call it a strike no matter where it is.
Right.
Of course, it'll cause problems. But here's the thing. You have to be ready to hit. Don't go doing the no-ma and doing all the...
Yeah, that's... No. My father gets aggravated again. He gets aggravated when you tell him with no-ma. What's he doing this? Every time we watch the Red Sox game with no-ma, what's he doing? What's he doing this? What's he doing this?
He's
That's what he does.
Readjusting his gloves. His forearms are too tight. He's going like this. He's letting the steam out of his arms. And then he's going like this, and then he's waggling the bat and everything. You can have your batting stance, but they give you 20 seconds. If you don't know what 20 seconds is, practice your routine outside of the field. Yeah. There's more than enough ways to get ready and get set within 20 seconds. If you're a batter is given 12 seconds. Between 20 and 8 seconds, you have 12 seconds to be ready, have your head towards the pitcher, and not get called for a violation.
Exactly. Really get going.
12 seconds for the hitter should be enough. 20 seconds for the pitcher should be enough. I'm not saying the pitch clock is a good thing or a bad thing, but 20 seconds. You're given 20 seconds to pay attention.
Yeah. Do it like Mike Fetters, look at
it looked like he was going to hurt somebody or himself, and I always wondered how did a guy that big get his neck go?
Yeah. Well,
he blew the breath out and everything. I think Mark Grace, when he played for Arizona, did that once.
Yeah.
He did the Fetters, and Fetters was in the bullpen, and he started laughing his butt off because he was just like, hey, he's doing just like me.
Yeah. Let's go.
I know, but he did that when he was pitching, actually. Mark Grace got a pitching appearance.
Oh, shit.
But here's the funny part of that. During that pitching appearance, he faced a young man who went on to be a manager, David Ross. Mark Grace gave David Ross's first career home run up.
All right.
So that was how that went. The entire time David Ross is going around the bases. Gracie's yelling at him. He's not hurling obscenities at him. He's just like, you really got your first home run off me?
He probably joked around with him and all that.
I know, but the scary part of it is, and I know we're over an hour here, but The Angels pitchers, position players who are pitching have a lower ERA than their starters and their bullpen this season.
Because they lost. They freaking lobbed the ball. It's
I know.
That's
The funniest thing is, what's his name? Brett Phillips got signed by the Yankees, I think, as a starting pitcher. David Fletcher, who was pitching for the Angels, went to the Braves. He's in the minors right now, trying to be a pitcher to get back to the majors. David Fletcher used to kill the A's all the time when he played for the Angels. But if they want to have a second career as a pitcher, that's fine. A lot of players have done it. Anthony Goes, who played for the Indians and played for the Blue Jays, he came back. He was an outfielder. He came back up to the majors. He was throwing 98 to 100 as a pitcher. Some people want to do a reverse Rick Ankiel. That's fine. Just don't blow your arm out.
Yeah. Williams Astudillo. There's a legend.
Oh, my God. They call him Little Bartolo.
He's got to look like Bartolo.
I know, but they showed him running in slow motion. His hair is moving. He's going, He was running the bases. That guy was 250 pounds on a 5'11 frame. He makes Alejandro Kirk look like a supermodel on a diet. And Alejandro Kirk, they say he's 5'9". He's 5'9", 240, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, when did I start catching in the majors?
Oh boy, it's like Otis running down the first base. Oh yeah, let's go.
I know. And that'd be even funnier if they were wearing their Canada Day uniforms, the big red ones, make them look like an apple.
Or the Kool-Aid man. Hey, Kool-Aid.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. On that note.
The sad part is anytime I hear a particular song in my work, I do this and I make sure there's no customers around. He goes, hey, hey, hey. And I go, hey, hey. And I do it every 2 or 3 times it comes up, and then customers are just like, where the hell's Fat Albert at? Gets them going because it's just like, what are you doing? You're supposed to be working. It's like, I am working.
Well, it was doing the worst impression of Fat Albert ever. Anyway.
It could be a lot worse.
Yeah. Well, anyways, on that note, I want to thank Joey Acacia once again for bringing us his baseball knowledge as usual, little stats and all that, and his beloved Oakland Athletics. We pray that they get to 70 wins this season for them. I know the Red Sox will hopefully try to righten their ship and keep fighting. That's one thing they're going to do is that we have to fight. That's the thing they have to do. Thank you for watching episode 23 of the Dugout season, Dugout Crew season 2, and coming up, if anybody out there is a fan of Brandon Martin channel or friends of Brandon Martin, tonight Rant and Rave will be talking about the big topic is Nikki Bella possibly getting a divorce. That'll be very interesting enough to yeah. I'm dead serious.
I'm sorry, but what year is it?
She's 2024. 2024.
That's her second divorce she's had. Not to mention John Cena divorcing her. So yeah.
Yeah. So,
but that's
just watch
that up because I remember the whole thing where they got married at WrestleMania 33 or
they got engaged at WrestleMania,
and then they never got married.
They never got married. Yeah. John Cena married someone else.
You can't see me means you can't marry me.
Yeah, exactly. So the whole thing, and Miz and Maurice made fun of Nikki and John throughout that whole thing.
Yeah, and then they lost it. Then they lost. So yeah.
So watch Rant and Rave tonight. Join myself not only with my colleagues Brandon Martin, Jordan Little. I think Chayton Long is going to be making an appearance. Also returning will be Michael Mabardier. So, and just don't mention the name Tiffany Stratton around him.
Oh, he's one of those, huh?
Yeah, he's been hating on Tiffany Stratton. So,
oh, God.
But what can you do? So,
hey, if he takes the prettiest moonsault ever, he might end up with like Jordy. He might.
Jordan. Yeah, so join us tonight on Brandon Martin's channel if you for Rant and Rave. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. So hopefully life can hit you a home run. I'll see you later. And Joey's reading the groceries. So I will see you later. Have a great and wonderful day. And goodbye for now. So long.
Goodbye.